Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cryptonews Weekly Roundup. Your host here, Matt Zahab. We are buzzing as always. And yes, I am solo today. Rachel is on vacation, enjoying Europe. Very jealous. I hope, Rachel, if you are tuning in, that you are having an absolute blast. Guys, I'm a little sick. Came down with a little cold. I mean, it's cold as hell here in Toronto. And I'm at my parents' place doing some house sitting. But either way, we are buzzing, and let's jump into it for a solo weekly roundup. Rip, guys, what a week. Green across the board. So good. So great to see. Bitcoin's up 9% to 111.3K. And yes, we did hit a new all-time high, which you'll get into. Ethereum's up 3 ticks to 2.65K. XRP is down 2%, the only loser in the top 10 this week. And Solana is up 3 ticks to 177. What a week. Why did this happen? Well, Bitcoin hit 111K. Like I said, macro economy looking a little better. And why did that happen? Well, the US spot Bitcoin ETFs recorded $609 million in net inflows just on Wednesday. In one day, as Bitcoin hit a new all-time high of above 111,000 per Bitcoin. BlackRock's Outbid led the daily inflows, which is pretty standard. Moving forward, Coinbase in the news all over the place this week. Coinbase is currently facing multiple lawsuits over bribe support agents and the user data leak. This started as a very small insider bribery scandal, and this has now escalated into a legal reckoning, which is pretty bad for Coinbase. Between May 15th and 16th, at least 6 class action lawsuits were filed against the crypto exchange. Plaintiffs accused the company of negligence, weak cybersecurity infra, and a delayed, inadequate response to the incident. Pretty wild. A couple days later, TechCrunch founder and big crypto dog, Mr. Arrington, said, and I quote, "I'm a longtime investor in and a champion of Coinbase. Something that has to be said, though, this hack, which includes home addresses and account balances, will lead to people dying. It probably has already." That's pretty big news and pretty wild words coming out of his mouth, but that is true. To anyone affected, please stay safe, and we hope nothing for the best to anyone that has been affected by the Coinbase hack. Coinbase in the news yet again. Circle, also known as USDC, the second biggest stablecoin in the world, to Tether, is currently exploring a potential $5 billion sale to either Coinbase or Ripple. And this is indicating flexibility to stay independent via an IPO. Ripple's $4 to $5 billion offer involves cash and XRP, which was declined as too low, whereas Coinbase could literally fund the whole thing themselves. So big up for Coinbase there. Time to talk regulation. The Senate voted 66 to 32 to advance the Genius Act, marking progress in stablecoin adoption and regulation. This is absolutely huge. And this bill, which would regulate stablecoins for the first time at the federal level, marks a key step towards establishing comprehensive oversight for digital currencies pegged to fiat currencies like the US dollar. 16 Senate Democrats joined Republicans in support of the bill, which again was a huge deadlock in the past and stalled the legislation 2 weeks ago. Huge shout out to those Democrats who joined the Republicans there. MicroStrategy in the news again. I guess it's now strategy. I say this every week. Last week, they snagged $764.9 million worth of Bitcoin, which is 7,390 Bitcoin. Pretty wild stuff here. And geez, this just after 1 week before, where they purchased 14,000 Bitcoin for $1.34 billion. Another week, another huge Saylor buy. But Saylor is still in the news here. Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, has been hit with multiple class action lawsuits over alleged misleading statements tied to its Bitcoin strategy. The lawsuit claims that the strategy hid the associated risks, citing a $5.9 billion unrealized Q1 loss that triggered an 8.6% sudden drop in MicroStrategy shares. Pretty wild stuff here. Hopefully they can all figure it out. Saylor's doing great work for the space, and hopefully he continues to do that. Tether, one of my favorite companies in the space, in the news again, this time for good reason. I mean, most of the time it's for good reason. Tether just released their Q1 holdings, and they hold a whopping $120 billion in short-dated, not long-dated, short-dated US Treasuries, also known as short-term bonds, surpassing Germany's $111.4 billion and securing the 19th place among global investors in Treasury bills. Guys, this is insane. Tether holds more USD bills than country with one of the best economies in the world, and that is Germany. That is absolutely wild. Tether also generated over $1 billion in operating profit, not revenue, profit, and $5.6 billion in the last quarter. Crazy stuff by the Tether team. Wow, shout out Paolo and the team there. More regulation stuff. The Texas Bitcoin Reserve wins a huge vote, 105 to 23. And this $2.7 trillion state could very well ignite the crypto arms race. This happened a couple of days ago on May 21st when Texas lawmakers passed the bill called Bill 21, also known as SB 21. Great name for the bill. And the bill, backed by both parties, paves the way for a state Bitcoin reserves and is awaiting its final approval. Texas joins New Hampshire as the second state to move forward with this. Now, the funny thing here is that SB 21 only allows the controller to buy cryptos with a $500 billion plus market cap, aka all you can buy is Bitcoin, which is absolutely incredible here, unless maybe Sol or Ethereum surpass that $500 billion market cap. And corporate Bitcoin holdings currently outpace governments. But again, Texas could shift the balance here and could literally open the floodgates for everyone, all the other states to follow in. Last piece of news of the week. Cetus protocol was hacked for $200 million plus as SUI price crashed as 60 million USDC was moved to Ethereum. Cetus is a decentralized exchange built on the SUI blockchain and has fallen victim to an exploit that may have siphoned off more than $200 million in digital assets. The breach was first flagged by pseudonymous Web3 researcher Comdar3 and has triggered a widespread panic across the SUI ecosystem. Market data from Dex Screener shows a brutal sell-off with assets like Lombard Stake BTC and AXOL collapsing nearly 100%, but the SUI team has done an incredible job and has already flagged most of the stolen funds and has freezed them too. Guys, hope you enjoyed this one, little solo weekly roundup. It's so good seeing the green on the board week after week after week. I do think this momentum will drop a little bit. Rachel and I have been praying for green candles for the last 6 weeks now. I think we're due for a week of red. So if that comes, it's part of the process, but it's the way she goes. Guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Sorry, my voice is a little raspy, doing my best here. If you enjoyed this, please hammer the like button, hammer the subscribe button. It means the world to my whole team and I. Rachel, hope you're having fun in Europe, and back to the listeners and viewers. Appreciate you guys as always. Keep on crushing, keep on growing those bags, and we will see you next week. Love you all. Bye for now. Ciao.